Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I am getting ready for the next Bassmaster Open. This is stop number 5, I think. Yep, number 5. We're going to Oklahoma. We got the second Lake EUFAULA of the season, and a lake that we've actually never been to before, or I haven't been to before, but most tournament circuits, you know, at the top levels, you know, have not been to Lake EUFAULA before. And so this is going to be a very, very interesting tournament. But as with all tournaments, I need to make sure that I'm prepared for this one. And we actually leave a little bit early, so I don't have a lot of time to get ready. We leave this Friday because we're going to visit some friends in Texas first, and then head over to Lake EUFAULA, Oklahoma, to you know, do a little bit of practice. But the boat is kind of a mess. It's kind of, you know, we've got TVA written all over it. We've been fishing Lake Wheeler, obviously, or Wheeler Lake, and then the Chickamauga this last week and a half. Been having some fun, but it is a absolute mess. If you look in there, it is a disaster zone, and so we've got a lot of work to do. But I just wanted to kind of share with you guys the general process for getting ready for an event. You know, essentially the first thing that we have to do is we pretty much have to deconstruct the boat and the truck. If we want to do this right, I pretty much just take everything out of the boat and truck, which the truck, you know, in the cab here carries a lot of the stuff that I have for tournaments. You can see back here, I'm starting to unpack it, and I've got my like spare soft plastic boxes. Of course, we also have the bait wall on the back of the truck camper, which if you haven't seen that, that's pretty cool. But we've also got 4 spare soft plastic boxes that we carry with us, and that's just kind of you know, accumulated throughout the years tournament fishing. But we've got the bait wall here. Eventually we're going to have to go ahead and, you know, deconstruct that too, because we want to make sure that the inventory that's on that bait wall is appropriate for Lake EUFAULA specifically. And also, we kind of have to look forward to the St. Lawrence River too, because we have a pretty quick turnaround after EUFAULA, relatively, because we're not going to have a lot of time. We've got a lot of things that we got to do to the house before we head up north. The St. Lawrence River is not for a while after the EUFAULA, Oklahoma, but we're actually going up to Connecticut. We've got a little lake house up there, and we're going to spend about, you know, a few weeks, go to ICAST, and then fly back, and then go to the St. Lawrence River. So we don't have a lot of time here, so we got to kind of pack for 2 events. At least get in the ballpark for, you know, getting ready. But for me, the way that I like to get ready is I like to start fresh every single tournament. Now, the boat, the truck, the camper, they are all a mess by the end of the you know, a tournament. That's just, unfortunately, how I work. You know, I like to start off fresh, but just little by little, man, it just starts piling back up. But if I just kind of let that roll, it would be a disaster, and I couldn't think straight. So, so today, getting everything out, and then I detail both the truck and the boat. You know, most times I like to make sure that I detail it, like clean everything, clean the Buc-ee's, you know, breakfast burrito stains off of the seats and all that kind of stuff, and just all the dust and everything. I like to clean it all out and then start fresh. Just kind of helps me declutter my mind too. So, and same thing with the boat, man. We're gonna have to clean this. The boat is filthy right now, which I hate. But we're gonna have to empty everything out. I think the only box that I don't empty out is kind of my emergency, you know, spare stuff box on the starboard side there. You know, that has my emergency bag, pair of goggles, life jackets, you know, things like that in that box. So I generally don't need to empty that out. But as far as rods, reels, all the tackle here, my fish care kit that I have behind my seat back there, all of that stuff. The bilge also kind of stays, but I make sure that I check every little connection on the batteries and all that, and just do a once over as far as everything else. And then after everything's out, I'll just kind of put it here on the ground, just kind of stage it, maybe in the garage if we're expecting rain. I put all of the soft plastics, you know, if they're Elastec baits, back on the wall. If there's some other type of soft plastic, I put them back in these boxes here, or I put them in the bait wall if I think I'm going to need them. And then we clean the boat, we clean the truck, we detail them both. With the boat, what I do is, you know, I do a regular, you know, soap and water mix for the outside, you know, because it's a wrap, it's not, you know, exposed gel coat. And then we do water and vinegar, distilled white vinegar mix for the carpet. And then we kind of, you know, work that in with a brush, you know, like a upholstery brush. And then we wash it all out, and that fluffs up the carpet, makes it look good. It just feels like a new boat afterwards. And of course, we clean the engine, and we're actually going to end up doing an oil change on the engine too. In fact, both the truck and the Mercury, I've got to do oil changes on. I've got to change the fuel filters also on the diesel. I do all those myself. We actually have a dealership in Texas that we're scheduled for an EGR cooler cleaner. If you're a diesel owner, you probably know what that is. That's probably going to be pretty expensive. I tried to watch the videos on how to do it, and it just kind of scared me out of trying to go ahead and do that myself, because there's just a lot of things that you got to take out of there, and be right before a trip. That doesn't sound like something I want to risk. But as far as the oil, all the filters, and the fuel filters and all that stuff, I can do that my own. And we got this package from Ultramarine here. So we've got a oil change kit for the Mercury V8. Don't need that. I've already got a bunch of those, but I'll keep that on hand. And what do we got? We got some gear lube. So we're going to do the lower unit fluid and, of course, the engine oil. And so we're going to be doing a video on that as well, which I've done videos in the past on that, but we've never had one of these oil change kits, which makes it way easier. So I'm excited about that. So we got a lot of stuff that we've got to do, but I guess the general thing, the theme is that I start fresh every tournament. You know, I try to you know, get everything out of the vehicles and then start fresh. And there's a few reasons why this is a really good way to prepare for a tournament when it comes to my equipment. Number one, it kind of declutters my brain. You know, I'm just not thinking about where stuff might be. I know exactly where it is. So I've got a clean starting point. Another thing that it does is it gives me confidence in my equipment, because as I'm going through the truck, the boat, the camper, I'm finding things, you know, whether they're fasteners that need to be tightened, maybe something that has broken that I didn't know about. And also just check on all the different components in the system. And when I find something, I can fix it. And so going through these things with a fine-tooth comb gives me the confidence in my equipment. Not only that, but when I clean it and detail it, that also gives me confidence. You just kind of feel like, yeah, this boat, this truck, these pieces of equipment appreciate being clean, and they're gonna perform for me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's kind of what goes through my mind. But yeah, this is a big part of tournament fishing. Like, some guys can roll and be fairly disorganized going into an event. I cannot. If I don't have my rods rigged exactly for the specific event that I'm going to, the specific fishery that I'm going to, my mind's a mess. If I don't have my my tackle completely, specifically picked for that lake, again, I'm not going to be fishing very good. So I've got to do all these things before an event. Some events, you know, I do a little bit more. Some events I do a little bit less. Oklahoma and the St. Lawrence River, I'm going to have to do a lot. I need to make sure that I'm on my best when it comes to packing for those events. But yeah, that is kind of basically what it is. And that, you know, this process has really worked for me. It's allowed me to really have equipment that hasn't failed me much over the years. You know, starting out with good equipment to begin with is a big key, but taking care of your equipment and making sure that you keep it clean and organized always has helped me. But yeah, anyways, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and we've got a good friend, Mark June. He's coming over to help with the trim on the house here. So, you know, we're going to have quite a bit of you know, different projects going on today. But I actually love this part of the process. It is work intensive, but it really helps me kind of get into a tournament. This is kind of the first step in really getting into the groove for a tournament week. So it is definitely a good thing. And obviously I didn't really mention it, but I got to rig all the rods, reels, respool, you know, for the ones that I don't know what kind of a line is on them. Might have to respool a little bit, but we definitely need to change everything out. And I think for this event, we're going to stick with a shallow power fishing tactics. I don't think we're going to I think we're going to keep it really, really simple, because EUFAULA seems like a great shallow water power fishery, and I don't want to venture away from that. So that's what we're going to focus on. And so we're just going to keep rods in the boat and rig up for that. But all right, guys. Well, that is it. Just wanted to share my process with you. Let me know what your process is for preparing for your next event. I'm really interested, and maybe I can incorporate that into my process. But overall, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, drop a comment below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Trust the process, and I'm going to see you out on the water. Take care.